Well, we are often asked, especially by people coming from a hand drafting background, how can I give my CAD landscape plans and designs a little more the feel of hand drafting? Well, the answer is that in gCADPlus you can assign to a text style a number of different fonts, and you can see some of these here on the left. If I just move down a little, each text style in gCADPlus is a named style and has a particular font associated with it. So here, for the sake of argument, if I click on that piece of text, in the properties box it tells me that's a text style called architecture. That's for you to call it whatever name you want. But if we go to format and text styles, and we'll come up in the list here to architecture, can you see that the style architecture is also associated with a particular font called architecture. A style called Architect D Bold is associated with the font of the same name. So we try and do that as much as possible. Here, this one in red is not being set correctly, so it's probably a duplicate, and I'd be looking to see if I can find in the drop-down list the word architects, or the font architects. So I'd click in here and scroll down through. I won't spend any time on this now, but the little symbol that you see on the left of, say, the style ISO CP, or sorry, the font ISO CP, if I wanted to change that one, I could say ISO CP is now the font, and I'm in the habit of calling that ISO CP. So the font name that I give it matches the font that I've chosen. But the point of the little story is that you can, in gCADPlus, ring the changes very easily, and you can select a style of lettering which matches your feel. The other thing I'd note here is that each one of these pieces of text is exactly the same height. So if you change a font like we've done in that format setting, there's no guarantee that text in style, let's pick two that are quite different. Here's some text, let's pick that one. That's an architectural style lettering called Arc Style, and it is a height in this particular drawing, it's 7 units, whereas this one here, which is clearly larger, is also a height of 7 units, but you would find it easier to fit some of the text into the design if you use a style which gives you, here's a style called City Blueprint, and it packs it in, it looks like a hand-drawn font, and it would be a lot easier to work with than some of these other fonts down here which are hand-drawn type fonts. So you need to be just aware that as you change fonts right across the drawing, things will change in terms of perceived height. Let's just print this little panel out and have a look at them. So we'll go File and Save as a PDF. High resolution will be enough, I think. I'll just scroll out and we'll go from there down to there, and we'll call it Test again. Well, we'll call it Hand Fonts because I've been rehearsing it. We'll overwrite it. So we're now going to look at a PDF file where we will see, sorry, I want to maximize that, and I'm in Acrobat Reader, so Control 0 gives me the full screen, and Control L should give me full screen view. So you can see now how clear the lettering is, although in the drawing itself it may not be rendered as crisply. So you can just work through. You can notice also that some fonts are much heavier and will print heavier. I tend to pick for my work a style called uppercase 2 because it has the feel of a hand-drawn font, but all text in the drawing will be uppercase, and I find that the construction team can read that text a little more easily than if I use one with a mix of upper and lowercase. So I hope that helps. Well, here's an example where the style uses the uppercase 2 font that we were just talking about, and if I scroll down through the building itself and to the front area, you can see that everything is in capitals despite the original text being in lowercase.